invite to our esteemed speaker, Dr. S.K. Mishra, sir, Senior Research Officer, All India Coordinator Research Project on Mushroom, Mushroom Research Training Center, Govind Pant University of Agriculture and Technology, Pantnagar University, Udham Nagar, Uttarakhand. Sir, we are as you know, we are organizing celebrating National Mushroom Day, and in response to that, we have make one national conference, and I welcome you in this conference on through online mode, and over to you for delivering the lecture. Thank you so much, sir. Once again, thank you, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much for inviting me as a special speaker for the topic on the mushroom cultivation technology of Western mushroom. And very good afternoon to you all present over here in this training program, in this webinar program, along with the organizers. So thank you so much for the listening for this lecture and other things. Most of the topic basically touched by Dr. R.C. Upadhyay on the mushroom cultivation technology, particularly the Western mushroom. And this topic has also given to me for the deliver over here. So majority of the things has been covered, but for the knowledge, if you find another important knowledge from this lecture, it is good for me, in fact, and as well as good for the audience. So we try to find out the informations basically on the mushroom cultivation from this lecture, because most of the informations has been delivered by Dr. R.C. Upadhyay. So I'm proceeding this thing. This presentation basically cover the substrate preparation of the oyster mushroom, spawn preparation, spawning and spawn run, cropping, harvesting and packing. And on the request of the audience, if they want to know about the economics, so economics could also be discussed during this presentation at the last. And so many other beautiful things we will discuss over here in about the mushroom, this oyster mushroom. Why the oyster mushroom is important to be cultivated around the entire Indian continent, subcontinent. Because of there are some good attributes it possesses, and these are the we can say that 1,000 species of oyster mushrooms have been described under the more than 25 genera and 50 species. It is one of the most second important edible mushroom after the Agaricus pyosporus India-wide and after Lenticuloidodes worldwide. And this mushroom in a future definitely gets a first position for the production as well as consumption. It is also a good important parameter. It grows on the various organic waste, as the Dr. R.C. Upadhyay said. He has told about all kinds of substrate, particularly the pulses substrates. So you can think the substrate, you can choose that substrate for the growing the oyster mushroom. No boundary for the cultivation of oyster mushrooms as per the availability of the substrate. So it prefers various organic waste from the agriculture, from the forest, and from the industrial origin under wide range of agri-climatic conditions from 10 to 30 degrees Celsius with a 60 to 90% humidity. So this mushroom could be fit in Indian climatic conditions for all seasons. If we're talking about the temperate mushroom, it could be fit. If we're talking about the subtropical mushroom, it could be fit. Even in the temperate region, this mushroom could be cultivated well. So this is most favorable mushroom all India, but particularly in the Northeast region and in the Bihar. Bihar revolution of the mushroom basically came with the help of Dr. Deharamji, and he always prefer to grow the oyster mushroom. So basically, this Jharkhand as well as the Bihar state and the Northeast state are well dominated by the cultivation of oyster mushroom. So we couldn't be neglect the presence of this oyster mushroom in such kind of a state. Even in North India, in Uttarakhand, this mushroom is again getting the popularity over the button mushroom, because the cultivation techniques are very simple, because it grows very easy and easy to manage and easy to post harvest. So if we just make the comparison between the button mushroom cultivation and the oyster mushroom, if we make the comparison between the mushroom and the oyster mushroom, if we make the comparison between the shiitake mushroom and oyster mushroom, so it is over, even it is superseded. And just he told that this mushroom, the powder of oyster mushroom, basically is useful for different kinds of, to recover the different kinds of disease, particularly the arthritis. So again, it is very important. It makes we can make a powder very easily. We can dry up it very easily. We can cultivate very easily, and whatever the material is left out of the cultivation, after the cultivation, that could be easily composed to prepare organic fertilizer, and that could be beneficial for the agricultural crops and for button mushroom itself, for mushroom cultivation itself. So it is very much easy to be cultivated, even in post-harvest too. It is nutritionally and medicinally rich with a good taste. So there are different mushrooms. Again, Dr. R.C. Upadhyay has told very nicely in his slide. Here in the picture, you can see that the Hypsizygus almerius is a blue-colored oyster mushroom. Very, look-wise a very good mushroom, and nutritionally and production-wise also a very good mushroom. This is a black mushroom, Pleurotus oyster, Pleurotus zarcazu, and Pleurotus zemor. Zemor is a pink mushroom basically. Pleurotus arangai is a king mushroom, because you can see over here the thickness of this type and less formation or few formation of the gills. So gills, if you are few in numbers, means number of spores are formed. So definitely it is very healthy for the mushroom growers. They are working continuously in the crop rooms, and sometimes this mushroom, this oyster mushroom, I would say, may cause some allergic problem, bronchitis problems. But in case of the arangai mushroom, because of less number of the gills and less amount of the spores, basically, it has. That's why it is very safe for the cultivation. And definitely, the Chinese and other Malaysia country, basically, they are growing this Pleurotus arangai. It has a lot of flesh. So, like the other vegetables, because of the huge amount of the flesh is available, so it is a very much fit for the culinary purposes. Again, is a Pleurotus apardus, Pleurotus citronophyllatus. It is a yellow color mushroom. Say, here the picture is very clear. If we want to make the hybrids, for many scientists, I have seen the voice of the audience. Many doctors and scientists and professors working. They joined this conference. So I want to share some important things, that if we want to make the training program, so you can make, you can select easily, because if it comes to the almerius and citronophyllatus, one is the yellow mushroom, so definitely the hybrid we found between those two colors. So we can easily identify the hybrids. Similarly, we can fuse the things, protoplasm of the spores, yellow spores as well as the black spore. So definitely the progeny that will be produced definitely have distinct color, similar to pink mushroom and the yellow mushrooms, pink mushroom, white mushrooms. So, these things makes the breeding program very easily. We can make the strain, we can produce the good quality or different kinds of strain through breeding program. So this is the built-in effect of this kind of different colors of major oyster mushrooms. Other major cultivated of the oyster mushrooms are, some are growing in the summer season and some are growing in the winter season. We can categorize these species for the region-wise, summer season and winter season mushrooms. In the summer season, summer growing species are the Pleurotus flagellatus, Pleurotus zorkazu, Staphydes, membranaceous, Citronophyllatus, and Eos. Membranaceous is a very mushroom. So again, it is useful for breeding purpose. This is, Pleurotus membranaceous is a thin, and its type is a little bit leathery. So it is not fit for the edible purpose, but for the breeding purpose or other purpose, it could be fit. For the medicinal purpose, it is fit, because we would always take the interest in the biochemicals, biomolecules. So in this case, it is fit, but not for the food purpose. Winter growing species are, they are little bit different from the summer growing species. Winter growing species are thick and having the good amount of the flesh and succulent in the nature. And these species are the Pleurotus osteatus, Pleurotus florida, Pleurotus cornucopy, Pleurotus fossilitus, and definitely Pleurotus erangi. So these are the almost flesh, having the huge flesh in comparison to summer growing species. These species can growing in a different way. So in a worldwide, there are 6 or 7 different cultivation systems of the growing the oyster mushroom. Before going to detail in the cultivation system of the oyster mushroom, I would like to something about the cultivation system. This is the mushroom. This is the mushroom basically that could grow very easily and prefer all kinds of agricultural and forest and industrial waste substrates. So it doesn't matter which method you would apply for the in your farm. So in this case, we think a new method, you can invent a new method for the cultivation, no problem, because of it is very easy to grow. Any method you can choose any method for cultivation, or you can invent a new method for cultivation of oyster mushroom. Doesn't matter. Lot of mushrooms. In this case, basically, they mostly use the hardwood species and generally practice in the Europe. This cultivation system is practiced in the Europe, and in this system, we have to make the holes, like in case of shiitake mushrooms, make the holes, and the spawn is inserted into the holes, and the inoculated logs basically kept aside for the spawn run in ideal conditions, ideal temperature and humidity, in the presence of ideal temperature and humidity. So after a few months, after a year or 9 months or after a year, the fruiting bodies will emerge as you are looking here in the photograph. So it is basically useful method in those areas where the plenty of the forest is available, plenty of the wood is available. Like in Indian conditions, the Assam and Northeast regions basically, where zooming farming is doing, but it is not in practice now, but no scarcity of the wood logs, so that could be cultivated there in the Northeast region. Second method is the bed cultivation system. So bed cultivation system, in this system, the span mixed substrate is placed in the bed frame. This is mostly used in the cotton-based oblique straw substrate. As you can see here in the picture, you can see here. So this is again a very cheap method. Make the frames iron frames and do like this. This third method cultivation system is the plastic bed cultivation system, and this is applied basically North Indian states like Uttarakhand and Uttar Pradesh, but in the Bihar basically, yes, of course, the polythene bags method basically apply. Plastic bag system cultivation system is applied. Here in this case, basically, the as Dr. R.C. Upadhyay is well said that this chosen substrate is soaked in water properly for 24 hours maximum time, or treated with the hot water or the steam until this substrate is soft. The log substrate used, they will come out automatically, and we are not forcing anything else if we are providing the suitable climatic conditions like temperature and humidity. It is very important. Yes, of course, if the mushrooms come out from the polythene, it will be safe water, as Dr. R.C. Upadhyay said. Well, water is always a problem or concern of our society. So definitely the water saving is important. So this method is very much important to save the water. After harvesting of mushrooms from the polythene, we would remove the polythene and find the basically this logs, Vita logs or substrate logs are free of the polythene, and proper water should be sprinkled on those logs. So after some time, after removal of polythene, the mushrooms will again come out from the logs of the substrate. So in this way, this is very important to note that it is okay. We have to have the fruiting bodies from the polythene. They emerge out from the polythene. Before removing all the polythene, we are taking harvesting of the mushrooms. But if we are removing the polythene from the logs and take the mushrooms, so you are surprised to know from the all directions, up, down, left, right, and surroundings, from each and every place of the log, the mushroom will come out. So in this way, we have the increased biological efficiency in comparison to the polythene mounted bags. So here the yield is less in comparison to the open logs of the substrate. This is very important to be considered. Again, this is a bottle or jar cultivation system. This is again told by Dr. R.C. Upadhyay. This is very much important method applied in the Japan as well as the China. So this is very safe and hygienic cultivation system. This mushroom you are looking here in the picture. Basically, this is Epilotus erendae, and it is also cultivated in most of the places of the. So this is a bottle of jar cultivation system. This is applicable. This is applying by the people of the Japan as well as China. This method basically is in this method, this sawdust, the best quality sawdust, should be used for growing this kind of mushroom. This pan mixed sawdust basically placed into the jars, and they will dry properly for the successful spawn run. After the spawn run, open the mouth properly, and so that the floating bodies they came out from the mouth or opening of the jar. But it has the poor biological efficiency, limited biological efficiency. This method is, very hygienic and clean. So the people or the women can apply this cultivation system in their kitchen too. So this is the benefit of this kind of cultivation system. Next cultivation system is the modified bed or bed cultivation system. This system is common in mainland of China, in which a trench are formed. Trench are formed and covered by the plastic roof. The trench is about 2 meter deep, 2.5 meter wide, and of variable length with 3 meter height from the base of the plastic roof. You can see in the picture that up to the 2/3 height, there is a trench under submerged trench basically in the ground, and the other portion of the this polythene bag, polythene sheet, polythene tunnel basically just out of the ground. So this facilitates this stabilizing effect. This stabilizes the climatic conditions properly, and not having the much disturbance in the temperature and humidity. Means there is not a huge differences day-night temperature and day-night humidity. Almost stabilized climatic condition here established. So once we try to stabilize the climatic conditions, we expect that we are producing the mushrooms with a high biological efficiency. So this practice basically applied in the mainland of China. If we try to grow the oyster mushroom, because it is grow very easily, so whatever the waste material in your backyard is available, so in the backyard you can do the practice like and figure picture 1. Here the substrate basically any kind of substrate, I think whatever the available on your backyard should be taken for the consideration for the cultivation. A sheet or the layer of the suitable substrate is spread evenly, and sprinkle the spore, sprinkle the spawn of the mushroom on this layer of the substrate. Then again, sprinkle water in enough amount in picture 3, and after sprinkling of water, we would cover the entire bed with the help of the polythene sheet. To do not be evaporate water from the substrate. 15 to 20 days for the successful spawn run. And after the completion of the spawn run, the polythene bag should be removed, and we would find the mushrooms like in picture 5. So this is a next method, vertical based system. This is applied in Jharkhand
northeast region as well as in Bihar. The beautification of the system has been told well by Dr. Ashu Upadhyay. It can save the time. It can save the time, save the space, and easy to handle, easy to water, easy to harvest. And overall, this method is very good for the mushroom growers, particularly in the blaze. And simple, it could be applied in simple thatches by hanging the bags one over others. So as you are looking over here in this picture, vertical tray system was described by first time by Curzons in 1978 for growing oyster mushroom. This system is practiced in some places of Bihar and eastern Uttar Pradesh. Don't bother, any method you can apply that could be fit as per your practice. This is a cylinder cultivation system. So cylinder cultivation system also applies in some state of the India, but I personally feel that if we do this kind of system, so in this system basically the span is increased because we are putting the span into the layer. So layering method of spanning is done over this mushroom system, this cultivation system. So layering is in the layering method of spanning, the huge amount of span is taking place. But and second problem is this, the filling or the making the cylinder with the help of forestry is very difficult task to do. Just a minute. आ जाइए अटेंडेंस लाओ, कितने बच्चे हैं टोटल, काम कितने के, ठीक है, सॉरी, ठीक है. So thorough spanning, we can do the thorough spanning also, and then mixing into the substrate. This can also be done, but majority of the mushroom growers, Western mushroom growers, prefer the span layering method of the spanning. But it has the high amount consumption of high amount of the span. Now these are the systems, cultivation system. Now we will discuss the substrate preparation. This is again not a problem which kind of substrate you are taking, but we want to analyze some important features of the substrate choosing the substrate, like the highly suitable form-based, moderately suitable forms, and suitable form. Highly suitable form-based considered the paddy straw and the wheat straw. They have the production 80 to 150% with biological efficiency. In this case, one important thing I noticed during my experimentation, Bundelkhand, as the participant has described, is a hub of the pulse production. So the kernel of the pulse or the bark of the kernel of the pulse basically is very much rich with the protein and other kinds of nitrogen component. And these components very much helpful to degrade, to colonize this kind of pulse-based substrate. So we don't ignore the beautiful or efficiency of this kind of substrate, pulse-based substrate. It must be used in the mushroom cultivation, even in the button mushroom too, for the production of the compost. They are very much beneficial. Moderately suitable form-based basically are the sugarcane bagas, maize, waste of cotton ball, oil palm fruits, waste, and these substrate, the productivity is ranged from 80% because they are a little bit harder and not fit for the CN ratio. If CN ratio is ideal, carbon and nitrogen ratio is ideal, means it is ranged from 60 to 80 to 1. Means 60% carbon है और 1% आपका nitrogen है. So these kind of substrate basically just ideal for the growing. If nitrogen content is a little bit higher, they could be considered again very much beneficial, like the pulse. जो आपका पल्स का वेस्ट है उसका इस्तेमाल इसमें करते हैं, उसमें नाइट्रोजन कंटेंट ज्यादा, कार्बन कंटेंट completely less, and nitrogen content completely higher than the other substrates. Suitable farm base means a cotton stock, sorghum traces basically they has a comparatively less productive efficiency or biological efficiency, that is 40 to 50% hardly, because of they are much harder than the earlier described substrates. Paddy straw, wheat straw, sugarcane bagasse, waste of cotton balls and other things. So after selecting any kind of substrate, we can proceed for the cultivation. Other common substrates are the wood rocks, sawdust, cereal straw, sugarcane bagasse, cotton waste, jute, wire pith, cocoa pods, mango seed kernel, different oil cakes, rubber seed cake, sunflower straw, groundnut, oat shell, tapioca starch, water hyacinth, banana waste, and lastly, I can say that whatever the substrate available in your backyard, so try this for the growing the Western straw. Okay.
पूरा मीन्स आप बस
After selecting of the substrate, we would come to the method of substrate slicing.
नहीं कर सकते पर ये पता है कैसे होता है.
Generally, in the India, basically two methods are preferred. One is hot water dip method. In hot water dip method, it consists mainly of dipping of the substrate in hot water for variable duration depending upon the nature of the substrate. If substrate are harder, then we have to increase the time for this slicing in hot water. Means 1.5 hours or sometimes 2 hours. If substrates are very soft, like straw, so 30 minutes are enough for this slicing. If substrates are moderately, hard like the wheat straw, so say 1 hour enough. 6 degrees Celsius. This is very important to note that not more than 6 degrees Celsius temperature should be kept into the water. If higher degree Celsius temperature, if you are preferring, means we are losing the protein content from the substrate. And ultimately, that will release into the water, and that will be the main cause of the green mold. So we would avoid the excess distillation of this substrate at high temperature, not more than 60 degrees Celsius. So first of all, soak into the water 1 day before in the cold water or the water, and the next morning keep out that thing and then into the hot water that has the 60 degrees Celsius temperature. If you're talking about the wheat straw, then just decant, just take out the bags from the hot water and decant into the slice plate form for sun drying. For sun drying, to make the moisture content hardly 40%, and this could be identified by layman mushroom growers. How we can identify this thing? The substrate would be kept in the palm or fist, and make the fist very tight and left. So if your fist is still wet with water, it means you are again needful for drying the substrate for a few minutes. If your fist is still dry, once you get this condition, it means that your substrate is ready for the spawning. तो मैं आपको यहाँ से करके बताता हूँ. ये फिस्ट है, यहाँ सबस्ट्रेट लिया हमने, सबस्ट्रेट लेकर के इसको हमने दबाया हाथ से और छोड़ दिया. If your fist is wetted with the water, it means we have to some time for the drying of the substrate in the minutes or as well as in hours. So once the condition, we have the right conditions, our fish is still dry. This is right condition for the fish farming. Next method is the chemical treatment method. So this method basically because of everyone want the organic product. So keeping this thing in mind, we try to grow the mushroom organically fit. So this cultivation, this chemical treatment method should be avoided as possible as we can do. In this method, there are two chemicals we are frequently using, that is bevestine and formalin. And we know that the formalin basically is a insecticide and bevestine is a fungicide. And formalin is also considered the little bit carcinogenic. So as we can possible, we can add this chemical from our system, from our cultivation system of the mushroom. So in this case, basically, this method is commonly used in the North India to sterilize the wheat straw and paddy straw substrate for mushroom, formalin and fungicide. Methods written over here. First of all, we have to fill the gunny sack with the wheat straw. Means one jute bag basically can carry up 5 or 6 kilograms dry substrate of the wheat straw. And after filling all the bags with the wheat straw, they could be submerged into the water that is also available in the tank. That water always contain before this water basically contain or mixed with the prior to dipping the bags into the water is mixed with the formalin and the bevestine. Before formula you can remember for the sterilization of the substrate, and that is the 10, 100 and 10. So 10 ग्राम के आपका बेबस्टीन है, 100 लीटर ऑफ वाटर है एंड 120 ml आपका फॉर्मुलिन, 10, 100, 120. तो ये फार्मूला याद रखना है. आउट ऑफ 10 किलोग्राम dry substrate, we would prefer the water of 100 liter, and in 100 liter of water 7 gram bevestine and 120 ml formalin is required. So 7, 10, 100, 125. This is the numerical formulation to sterilize the wheat straw with the help of chemical. Again, we would remember that if we are using high amount of chemical, so it would be dangerous for mushrooms. So high amount chemical retard the process of spawn run into the substrate. So we are very much cautious about the application or use of the high amount of bevestine particularly and high amount of formalin. The dose I told you must be fixed over 100 liter of water, 7 gram bevestine and 125 ml formalin. Another methods are unsterilized method. I would like to prefer this method also. One thing that is very important to be noted here, that if the oyster mushroom we would want to grow, so they could be grow in a season. They could be grow in a season means at ideal temperature and humidity. If temperature and humidity is disturbed, we must use the chemical treatment and hot water treatment. This is sure and guaranteed. Take it guaranteed. In most ideal conditions, if we are cultivating the oyster mushroom, we are sterilizing the substrate, undecomposed, healthy substrate like wheat straw and paddy straw that is not rotten earlier. Simple water is good enough. No need to apply the hot water or steam or chemical treatment. Take the fresh water into the hose or the tank and dip the bags into them without any chemical. You would have good results. if we are using the hot water, this is also very important. Hot water may lose the outer surface of the substrate that is harder and remove the bags of the wheat straw from the outer layer. So this type of substrate after hot water treatment are very much soft for growing the oyster mushrooms. In this type of substrate distillation method, hot water distillation method, the colonization of mushroom, basically mushroom spawn, is very easy and very fast if we are trying to follow this cultivation system, this method of sterilization in a most suitable temperature and humidity. Pasteurized method is again important, but it's very costly. So in this method, wet substrate is exposed to live steam for different duration, few minutes to few hours, and this is most common and widely adopted method throughout the world, especially with in India. This method is not practicing. Again, the fermentation method, it involves the application of thermophilic microorganisms in the fermentation of substrate. But as per my experience, it could be, I'm very much, say this thing to you, the fermentation, because of the fermentation, the chemical nature of the substrate is little bit changed. And the substrate that is lignicolous in the nature is little bit converted to the hemicolous type. So once it is converted into the hemicolous in nature, this is not fit for the oyster mushroom. So partial distillation method is good, but sometimes we couldn't find the good results in the pasteurization method of this fermentation method. Sterile method is well known, very costly, requires the machines like autoclaves. So in this method, the substrate is sliced by live steam under the high pressure. This is a very safe and sure, take it granted that no bags are contaminated and good growth of the oyster mushroom we will find in the substrate after sterile, using the sterile method or autoclaving method. But this is very costly, not feasible, not fit for the oyster mushroom cultivation. And this is used exclusively for the other mushrooms like the hericium, like the shiitake, like the auricularia, and other mushrooms too. So after preparation of this substrate, our substrate is ready for this spawning. So we are using, as you are looking in the picture, we are using the commercial grade spawn for the spawning, for mixing the seed into the substrate. And these bags you are looking are the commercial spawn. Here, the ready substrate is spawned by the students. Spawning by the students here in this picture, mixing of the sprinkling of the commercial grade spawn on the ready substrate of the wheat straw, and mixing of the random mixing of the seed into the substrate. And after mixing, the bags, polythene bags, are filled with the spawn mix substrate. So as the Dr. R.C. Upadhyay has said well that because of the pollution, the single-use polythene is banned by the Indian government. So we would definitely find out the another method like tray method, like the trench method for the cultivation of the oyster mushrooms. We cover the substrate, spawn substrate with the help of newspaper, as Dr. R.C. Upadhyay said very rightly. Because of these sources, newspapers or jute bags or jute seeds, we are using to achieve the spawn in the bags beds or the trench method or whatever the method you are applying, they give the good results to the mushroom growers. So we must avoid the polythene. After spawning, bags should be left for 15 days to 20 days as per climatic conditions, temperature and humidity conditions. And the bags will be, after spawning, they will be white in color. You can see over here in the picture. These bags basically are used for the production without removing the polythene. That's why some holes are made and plugged with the non-absorbent cotton. After completion of spawn run, this cotton plug should be removed and we have the small pore, and from that pore the mushroom will out from the polythene. So this method could also be good enough for the production. Here you can see the second method, harvesting of the mushrooms. So after removal of polythene, after exhaustive production, before removing of the polythene, we have to remove the polythene, and again we have the flush on the mushroom logs. So this is a simple method of harvesting, and after harvesting, make the packing like this and ready for the sale. So this is overall the presentation regarding the cultivation technology of the oyster mushroom.
Thank you very much, sir. If any queries, please unmute yourself and ask.
Myself MM Singh, in geology department, very much interested. आज का ये कार्यक्रम मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा। और छोटा सा ये क्वेरी था, इसमें एक केमिकल की अभी फर्मेंटेशन की प्रोसेस में आपने बताया था, इसमें एक फॉर्मेलिन की यूज करने की प्रोसेस बताया गया था। तो मुझे ये लग रहा था, क्योंकि फॉर्मेलिन जो है आजकल जो हम लोग बात करते हैं, जो मछली बाजार में जो इसकी जो नुकसान के बारे में हम लोग सब जानते हैं, तो क्या ये यूज करना क्या सेफ है? हम ह्यूमन हेल्थ की हिसाब से मैं बात कर रहा हूँ सर, थोड़ा सा आइडिया दे दीजिए सर।
डॉक्टर मिश्रा सर। यस सर, प्लीज।
हाँ यस, केमिकल तो कोई भी सेफ नहीं होता है हेल्थ के लिए, तो इसको हमेशा अवॉइड करना चाहिए। और फॉर्मेलिन तो वैसे ही कार्सिनोजेनिक है, तो मशरूम कल्टीवेशन में इसका रोल बहुत ही कम होना चाहिए। अब तो हमारे पास काफ़ी अच्छी टेक्नोलॉजीज आ गई हैं, मेथड्स मिल गए हैं हमें, तो उनका इस्तेमाल करें। और खासतौर से अगर मशरूम की बात करें हम, तो इसमें हॉट वाटर ड्रिप मेथड बहुत ही अच्छा है, चीप है, और हम बड़े आराम से अच्छा मशरूम कर सकते हैं। इससे हमारा जो सबस्ट्रेट है सॉफ्ट भी हो जाता है, और उसमें कंफर्टेबली जल्दी कॉलोनाइजेशन होता है मशरूम के माइसीलियम का, और उसमें उपज भी अच्छी आती है, क्योंकि उसमें न्यूट्रिएंट अवेलेबल फार्म में हो जाता है। जबकि ये कीड़े जो होते हैं हमारे, जो और जर्म्स होते हैं या जो हमारे मोल्ड्स होते हैं, वो हॉट वाटर की वजह से सब किल हो जाते हैं। तो ये एक दुधारी तलवार है जो हॉट वाटर के लिए है। ओयस्टर मशरूम में अगर हम फॉर्मेलिन का इस्तेमाल करते हैं तो उसके दो नुकसान होते हैं। एक तो वो टॉक्सिसिटी क्रिएट करता है, कीड़ों को तो मारता चलो ठीक है, जर्म्स को मार दिया ठीक है, लेकिन वो टॉक्सिसिटी क्रिएट करता है मशरूम के लिए भी, और वो सरफेस को मुलायम नहीं करता है। इसके वजह से स्पानन में भी थोड़ी सी तकलीफ होती है, हार्ड बन जाता है स्पानन, अच्छा नहीं चलता है उसमें कभी कभी। तो इस चीज़ को थोड़ा ये इसको करना चाहिए। बट ये प्रॉब्लम ये है कि हम कॉमर्शियल करें तो हम हॉट वाटर को कैसे करेंगे, ये अभी हमारे पास प्रॉब्लम बनी है। छोटे स्तर पर कर सकते हैं, कॉस्ट ज़्यादा आती है उसमें, थोड़ा गर्म करना ये थोड़ा सा हेटिक रहता है, लेकिन अगर हम कॉमर्शियल स्केल पे करें तो इसके लिए हमें थोड़ा सा सोचना पड़ेगा, ये इम्पोर्टेंट।
जी, आपके पास तमाम टेक्निक्स है और आप जानते भी है, तो आई थिंक वी शुड नॉट सपोर्ट इसमें थोड़ा सा हेल्थ को भी लेते हुए। बहुत अच्छा लगा सर, थैंक यू सो मच सर।